Realme just launched the Realme 3 Pro, and while this phone has a lot of things going for it, there's one thing that a lot of people were talking about. Realme talked about an Ultra HD mode in the camera, and what that mode does is that it gives you 64 megapixel images. And when they said 64 megapixel, people already started comparing it with the Redmi Note 7 Pro like there wasn't already a lot to compare. In this video, we're gonna clear all your confusion and let you know if the 64 megapixel image from the Realme 3 Pro is worth standing up against the 48 megapixel picture from the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So hey, this is Sreehari from Mr. Phone, and let's jump right into this. Before jumping into the comparison, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified for all the new cool tech videos that we put out. We took a few pictures in this comparison because I think that was enough to let you know the difference. So we're going to start with the first one. This is our wide shot and this is our favorite one. The colors here are a little different, but this comparison is not about that. It's about the 48 megapixel versus 64 megapixel images from the Redmi Note 7 Pro and the Realme 3 Pro respectively. So let's get to 100% crop. Getting to 100% crop, what I can instantly see is just how much better the Redmi Note 7 Pro is. This was something that I expected clearly, and I'm seeing that here. If you look at the leaves on the trees, the smaller bushes, all of it looks much more natural. There is simply no comparison between the two. The resolution is just not there for the Realme 3 Pro. What the Realme 3 Pro is doing, as I said earlier, is interpolating 4 16 megapixel images to get the higher resolution image, which means that you don't necessarily get any more details, you just have a higher resolution image. With the Redmi Note 7 Pro, that is not the case. It's a truly 48 megapixel image, taking a much higher, naturally higher resolution image. Even on the Space Edge building that you can see here, you can clearly see how the Redmi Note 7 Pro does the details much better. That said, the exposure control on the Realme 3 Pro is better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. It's also a function of how the sensor performs, what the software optimization is like. We said that in the Realme 3 Pro review as well. I think exposure control, which Realme struggled with in the past, has been controlled phenomenally this time. Now in this next image of our office building, I think it's the same case again. The Realme 3 Pro has not done a bad job because you can see how well the outline is, but that said, the natural details are much more in the Redmi Note 7 Pro, hence the pictures that come out of the Redmi Note 7 Pro look much better. Again, going to another image, and this is the last wide shot and the second last shot in this quick comparison. I'm actually glad how quick this is. In this image, again, I don't think we need to say anything. All these places that I show you, the Lesso logo on the building, the flowers at the bottom, looking at that building, looking at the lion's head that is there below, looking at the flowers there, I think all of it, there's just no comparison between the two. Let me know in the comment section if you think that is true. Let me know if you also think that the Redmi Note 7 Pro's 48 megapixel images just look way better compared to the Realme 3 Pro. And let me know if you disagree with me. Now finally we come to a human subject just for fun. Looking at the image from here, the colors on both of them look quite good. That said, I do prefer the color of the Redmi Note 7 Pro. That said, that's not why we are here. Let's get to 100% crop. And getting to 100% crop, I think this one is the image where you can see the clear outline difference. The Redmi Note 7 Pro's detail on the t-shirt is just unfathomable compared to the Realme 3 Pro. It literally crushes the Realme in details. If you look around the entire t-shirt, you'll see those details. Even on the face, there looks to be slight over sharpening happening on the Redmi Note 7 Pro, but I can assure you that is also happening on the Realme 3 Pro. And the Redmi Note 7 Pro, since has much more natural details, the image ends up looking much more detailed than it is. So I think with that we come to an end of the comparison. What you saw in these pictures and what you saw when we compared those was that the Redmi Note 7 Pro's 48 megapixel sensor takes more detailed images than the Realme 3 Pro. We did not talk about color or exposure or any other things because that is not what this comparison is about. There is a comparison that we did as a normal camera comparison and it is there on the channel. You can go and check that out. Link in the description and a card linked up here. But what we get to find is that while this one does claim to have a 64 megapixel image, even Realme hasn't claimed this to be a 64 megapixel sensor. They've just said that you get a 64 megapixel image if you want to. With the Redmi Note 7 Pro, you have a true 48 megapixel sensor, and that is clearly much better than any pixel interpolation that can happen. And I think with that, we come to an end of this video. I'm happy that if I could clear out any of your confusions. if you were thinking about 64 megapixel versus 48. I'm sure I've cleared that out as well. And I think with that we come to an end of this one. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sreehari from Mr. Phone, and I'll catch you in the next one.